It's KFI AM 640, and you're listening to The Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. The chase today ended on 96th and Compton Avenue. The woman was taken into custody. She's going to the hospital first. Maybe you watched that chase with us with Petros Papadakis. That was crazy. Crazy chase. All right, then we talked about also Bruno Mars. He's on tonight again at the Intuit Dome, and maybe they'll have some of that taken care of, where the facial recognition, cashless dome, cashless arena, can't buy anything with cash in there. So leave your cash at home. No cash in the entire joint. All right, we talked about this comedian earlier, a guy named Perry Kurtz. He finished his set, I believe it's Corbin Bowl or somewhere very close to Corbin Bowl, Corbin and Ventura. Leaving, crossing the street, not in a crosswalk. So if the kid who hit him just stopped, probably wouldn't have been charged, maybe at all. But he took off, and they found him later, and now the bad vibes have set in. But this is a comedian who is also a writer on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
A hit and run in Tarzana takes the life of comedian Perry Kurtz Thursday night. He was 73 years old.
And I came here to pay my respects.
Ryan Talmo and Mark Gonzalez, who are also comedians, remembering their longtime friend.
I've known Perry for about 15 years. I first did a show with him at the John Lovitz Comedy Club.
Still in shock, just because, we see him around, especially around the LA comedy scene. And we always run into him, and we always cross paths. We share laughs.
It was here on Ventura Boulevard and Corbin Avenue. The LAPD says a gray Honda Civic was going eastbound when it struck Kurtz walking across Ventura Boulevard around 11:20 Thursday night.
Okay, 11:20 last night, probably after his set or whatever he was performing there. Tried to run across Ventura and was struck and killed.
Kurtz died at the crash site. Police say the alleged driver, identified as 18-year-old Nathan James, did not stop. The LAPD says James was taken into custody at his home in Reseda. The driver's car was found abandoned close by to where the hit and run happened.
Everyone races on Ventura. There's cars speeding down every day, every night.
Talmo, who was at the Corbin Bowl across the street running his open mic show,
that's what it was. The Corbin Bowl open mic right there at the bowling alley.
Is thinking back at the last conversation he shared with Kurtz. He says Kurtz had walked over from Fuego before going back to the bar and grill to end his night.
I'm getting chills thinking about it. It was very surreal. He came in last night and he was talking about how it's really broke my heart, because that's like our last conversation we had.
Kurtz's performances ranged from the Comedy Store in West Hollywood to karaoke nights at various locations in Los Angeles. He also appeared on America's Got Talent.
We have our little inside jokes that we say, we catch up, we laugh, we smile.
A brotherhood his friends say they will always cherish.
We miss him. Honestly, we miss him already.
Perry, love you. One day we'll cross paths again in the big gig in the sky.
The LAPD says that driver has been booked on a suspicion felony hit and run causing death. We tried reaching out to the Kurtz family earlier today, but we were not successful.
Oh, man. Bad scene out there off of Corbin and Ventura in Tarzana. All right. This is the Golden Bachelorette. Speaking of show business, the Golden Bachelorette, Joan Vassos, 61, is sharing her dates must have and deal breakers for these older chaps that wanted to date this woman. You got to listen up. She's pretty strict.
What are you looking for in a partner? Like, have you thought about those top characteristics as you start to kind of filter?
Yeah, I've thought about it. This is going to be a hard job, but there are a few that are really important to me. Obviously, kind and family man and that kind of stuff. My father was the ultimate in gentleman. He was just opened doors, carried everything, carried in the groceries, hopped up when a woman walked in the room, was...
Okay, old-fashioned guy. I like that. I give that guy props for that, holding a door open for people. I think that's one of the ways we can really get society back together again. You hold a door open for somebody, they say thank you, you say you're welcome, and there's that nice moment between the two of you. And I think that is really undervalued in society. Holding a door open for somebody, them recognizing you doing that goes a long way.
Always polite, never cussed, was just such a gentleman. And I am looking for a gentleman. There is something about that.
Now, okay, now this is where we go off the rails here.
Always polite, never cussed, was just such a gentleman.
Okay, never cuss. You're not going to get 60 and 70, 80-year-old guys who are not cussing. As guys get older, all they do is swear. That's all they do.
I prefer it that way.
Yeah, that's all they do. Everything on their body hurts. They're running out of money. They didn't save enough for retirement, and they're swearing all day long. They wake up swearing, they swear all day long, and they go to bed swearing until they have dreams where they're swearing.
Everything hurts.
Everything is on fire.
It concerns me if somebody's not swearing.
Yeah, it's odd. Yeah, you're right. If somebody's walking around and not saying anything, or they look to you or like, ooh, you use that colorful language, like, what the hell? What's going on with you?
And I am looking for a gentleman. There is something about that is so charming and endearing to me. And I'm also looking for somebody that has a little sense of adventure. You know, my whole life getting to this place in life.
I don't know.
Has a little sense of adventure.
Adventure? At 80? What does that mean? That they stay up till 7?
You know, my whole life getting to this place in life and had planned on having all those adventures with John. And when that all kind of vanished, I really missed that thought of planning a future with somebody and doing some fun things. And
what happened to John? Was John the husband of Joan Vassos? Is he no longer with us? Did he take all their money and go to Puerto Rico? What did he do? I don't know.
Planning stuff. So I am ready for somebody that has a little sense of adventure and ready to have some fun.
I was going to say, you're in for a good time. That's what you want. Yeah. Absolutely.
You only get to do this once.
There's an original thought.
You only get to do this once.
All right. Was she a writer?
You only get to live once.
I also need to know, what is your number one deal breaker?
How about that? She doubled down on the most, the flattest observation in the history of mankind. And she doubled up on it.
You only get to do this once. You only get to live once.
Yeah. Oh, boy. And she cleared it up for anyone that couldn't understand what she meant the first time.
You only get to do this once.
Wait. What? What does that mean?
You only get to live once.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Appreciate it.
I also need to know, what is your number one deal breaker?
This is really very minuscule and weird, but I hate someone who's rude to a service person, a waitress or the checker at the grocery store. That really turns me off. That's like, I'm walking away from you right now.
Okay. All right. How many people do that? How many people go through a line and are really rude to a cashier or a waiter? Like, maybe you've seen that twice in your life, maybe once. People don't do that. I mean, she's got to expand her likes and dislikes. You know, her likes are a guy who doesn't swear, and her dislikes are guys who do swear. That's her whole life. People swear and people don't.
Her husband actually passed away.
How did he pass away?
I don't know. Bellio just said that he passed away.
Oh.
I'm relaying the message.
Never mind.
All right. Well, let's find out, what more about that. Was he old? Was he sick for a while? I don't know. Because she seems to have moved on. Was it recent?
I'm asking.
Oh, yeah. Let's find out. Yeah. Because that's also weird. When, you have a 40-year marriage, he dies, and then, next week you're at the money tree sniffing around.
Goodbye.
That tells me everything I need to know about that person.
It does. I know. Isn't it weird? Isn't it very revealing?
No, it's dull. It's dull, sweetheart. It's really dull, and it says a lot about you. That you don't like guys who swear, so you don't like real guys, and you don't like people who are mean to waiters. Who is that? I've been to a million restaurants in my life. I've seen it maybe once.
Her husband passed away from a battle with pancreatic cancer.
And how long ago?
Back in 2021.
Okay, all right. I don't know. A little early to be on TV dating. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe move on pretty quickly at that age. That's possible.
Yeah,
what was that, Kiki?
Yeah, you need to...
Kiki, please. We're trying to play audio.
Yeah,
Kiki.
You need to be nice to everyone. Be kind. Just be kind.
Okay. All right. Again, 3D house of flat observations. You know how many kind people are in this world? In this country, there's 330 million people. You know how many kind people there are in this country? I would say about 330 million people. I would say there's about 328 million kind people. You've got to narrow it down somehow. You got to give us more to work with than just, you don't like a guy who yells at a waiter. You know how deep that pool is still? You got to come up with something that eliminates some people. Not just, another one I can't stand is when these people say, oh, I like walks on the beach and great restaurants. Oh, that's great. Okay. You know how many people are eliminated by that? 0. Because we all like that. We all like to walk on the beach and we all like good meals. You've got to bring more to this Joan Vassos. She's got to bring more to the table than she just doesn't like a guy swearing and doesn't like a guy who kicks the crap out of a waiter. That's weird. Really weird.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. On Demand from KFI AM 640.
The Golden Bachelorette, Joan Vassos, the interviewer asked who her ideal celebrity would be. If she could date a male celebrity, who would it be? Well, let's find out.
If you had to pick one celebrity that kind of embodies what you're looking for, who would it be?
All right. Decent question. Remember, she hates swearing. She loves honesty. And she hates when people are rude to cashiers or busboys or waitresses or waiters.
I have two guys that I think, oh my God, are beautiful. I love Rob Lowe. I think he's so handsome and he's funny.
Oh, somebody who doesn't like swearing. Belted that one out.
I love Rob Lowe. I think he's so handsome and he's funny and he's a great actor. And I was actually an extra in a movie that he was in. So I met him in person and I've loved him since I was 21 years old.
What movie?
Oh, I was in St. Elmo's Fire. You can see me like in split seconds as an extra.
We all just learned that for the first time.
Okay, well, surprise.
I love it.
I know. And then I love Kevin Costner. Since Yellowstone, I just think he is like the rugged, sexy guy. Opposite of Rob Lowe, who's kind of polished, and he is.
Okay, I guarantee you both of those guys swear. Rob Lowe and Kevin Costner. And, this woman is telling everybody how wholesome she is and she opens doors for people and she loves it when people are old-fashioned guys. She's picked two celebrities with kind of odd pasts in relationships. Rob Lowe, when I think he was 24 at the time, got caught up in a sex tape. Remember that? Rob Lowe, he's 24. Involved in a sex scandal, the videotape, having sex with two women. One was 22. One was 16. All right, that's Rob Lowe. And then Kevin Costner, who's going through a really wicked, horrible divorce. And Kevin Costner's ex-wife is saying that Kevin Costner had made a lot more money than previously stated. And they're looking for that cash. So kind of odd, kind of strange. Also, the former couple, Kevin Costner and his wife, are in a very messy divorce, and accusations were flying. Costner even claiming that his ex-wife was dating his close friend, Josh Connor. And they vacationed when they're vacationing with them in July. Boy. All right. So she filed for divorce. And I guess he has to pay her $175,000 in monthly installments. I guess they have 3 kids, and those kids are not 18 yet. So she receives $175,000 a month. I hope she can get by. Kind of weird. You would think with all of her be nice to everybody, be kind to everybody, that she would be more consistent in her men, but she's not. Okay, all right. Baby, you can be a hypocrite in life and not get arrested. That's cool.
You remember the Rob Lowe thing happened in 1988? That was in Atlanta, and it was like during the Democratic National Convention at the time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have skated if the ages were a little different. He was 24. I think one of the girls was 22. That would have been okay. I think they found out the other girl was 16. Yep. It's going to be a problem. But, man, that guy made a comeback, Nobody seems to ever talk about that or bring that up, except idiots on radio. All right, let's talk about gambling here. Everyone loves to gamble. Gambling on mobile, on apps. Is it fair? I don't know. We'll find out when we come back. Gambling with mobile card games and playing poker and blackjack online. Is it fair or is it rigged? We will find out. A lot of people do that. A lot of people do it.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. On Demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI is sending you and a friend to Las Vegas for the 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival presented by Capital One. September 20th and 21st at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. 2 nights, 1 stage. You will see live performances from Dua Lipa, Doja Cat, Gwen Stefani, Keith Urban, and more. Buy your tickets at AXS.com. Get them now before they sell out. They always sell out. And keep listening to KFI for your chance to win 2 tickets to both nights of the festival and a 2-night hotel stay at the MGM Resorts destination, plus a $200 gas card. I'd get you there and back. So that's a cool deal. Show off your poolside only at MGM Rewards. Visit MGMRewards.com for details. Yes. All right, let's get into this gambling online. A lot of people are playing card games online, solitaire and bingo. But are they fair? Here's a hint. They're not.
Karina Jacqueline downloaded Solitaire Cash looking for a side hustle to earn extra money. While she could play for free, she says to win real money, she'd have to pay to enter tournaments against other competitors.
Right on.
She played up to 6 hours a day for more than a year, documenting the whole experience. And how much money did you make?
Yeah, I made about.
After a year and a half of playing for several hours at a time.
All right, here's the whip around. She did make money, but how much did she make in the year and a half?
She played up to 6 hours a day for more than a year.
6 hours a day for a year and a half, and she made money.
Documenting the whole experience. And how much money did you make?
Yeah, I made...
Okay, let's do a whip around. How much money did she make? She played for 6 hours a day for a year and a half, and she did make money. It's in the black. How much money, Stefoosh?
I'll say she made $4 grand.
4,000. All right, Kiki D.
I'm gonna say 10,000.
10,000. All right, Crozier.
I'm going to go 500.
500. Angel.
Is this tax-free?
Before taxes, correct.
Before taxes,
That's right.
120,000. 120K.
All right. And then is Lindsay in there? Lindsay, you want to play here? Okay, this woman gambled for a year and a half, 6 hours a day. She made money. How much did she make?
I don't know, 100,000?
100,000. All right. The closest without going over. How much did you say, Croge?
500.
Okay, you are right. You are correct. Crozier nailed it.
Really? It was just it was 500?
Let's find out how much she made. But Crozier is, I believe, the closest. Let's find out.
Documenting the whole experience. And how much money did you make?
Yeah, I made $100 about.
She made $100.
I was gonna say 100.
She played 6 hours a day for a year and a half and made $100.
Winning. She didn't have yesterday.
$100.
Gave her too much credit.
You know what? I'm gonna do the quick math here. Okay, she played every day, and okay, let's bear with me here. 365 times 1.5. So she played for 547 days times 6. She played 6 hours a day. She played 3,285 hours. 3,285 hours. Okay. Now let's clear that. Let's go $100 divided by 3,285. And she made 3 cents an hour. 3 pennies every hour she played.
Ballin'.
3 cents. What a life.
$100 about.
After a year and a half of playing for several hours at a time.
Yeah, it can be very easy to just get carried away because it's like having a casino on your phone.
Experts we spoke to say just like real casinos, these games are designed to take your money.
It's throwing these pop-ups at you of like, oh, a special offer, pressuring you to put more money in and to keep playing.
Yeah, it's easy to do, especially if you've had a couple of drinks. And you're like, oh, maybe I should buy the extra coins for $10 and maybe $5, $3 here. And it adds up.
We asked PC Mag gaming expert Jordan Miner to play 2 popular games, Solitaire Cash and Blackout Bingo.
Both very popular. Solitaire Cash and Blackout Bingo. Very, very popular.
For several weeks, he says both games use tactics to keep you spending, like giving you bonus cash prizes when you pay to enter more tournaments. But try to withdraw that bonus cash and it's impossible. So people should know when they see something like a $22 bonus, a $150 bonus, that money actually won't leave the app?
Yeah, it can only be used to play more games.
Wow, do you think people get bamboozled by that?
I was.
He says Blackout Bingo also keeps players hooked by rewarding them with tickets they can use to buy prizes. But he found even cheap items cost hundreds of thousands of tickets.
So, if I wanted to get, say, a $10 gift card, I need, 500,000 tickets.
Wow, man, oh man. What a racket.
What? You need 3 million tickets for some of these prizes.
Yeah.
How long do you think it would take to earn that many tickets?
Like weeks and weeks.
Skills, the maker of Blackout Bingo, told us in part its games are fair and not gambling.
Well, what else are they going to say? We're here to rip people off.
And most are free to enter. The company says its bonus cash operates like coupons designed to make players' dollars go farther. But now 2 proposed class action lawsuits claim some gaming companies purposefully stack the deck against you.
Here we go.
The pending suits allege that Papaya Gaming and Avia Games, the makers of apps like Solitaire Cash, Solitaire Clash, and others, use computer bots to control the outcome of games and ensure that players often lose.
The companies tell consumers that they are playing games of skill against other real humans. However, in reality, they're using bots and keeping the winnings for themselves.
Oh, who would have guessed?
In statements, both companies called the allegations false and without merit. Avia adding in part, a player's performance dictates game outcomes, and opponents are selected fairly and based on skill level. Papaya said in part its games are fair, provide rewards based on ability, and allow players to compete for free. The company says it discloses its games aren't intended to be a potential source of income, but after her experience, Corina says players beware.
Yeah, players beware that online gambling may not be on the up and up. And I think everyone's been stung. I've been stung a couple of times that way myself.
You still go back?
No, I haven't played in years. But when it first started with poker online, you could play for money.
Sure.
And then then there was blackjack on online, and I played a little of that. Not much. Like 10, 15, $20 over a week or so, maybe $50 a month max. But I noticed that in blackjack, when the dealer was showing a 10, you always had to get a 21 to beat them. They always had another 10 underneath. So even if you had 19, you would hit, knowing that you were going to lose if you stayed where they're showing a 10.
It's also a very social aspect to it, too.
Oh, yeah, right.
That's how my ex found her second husband.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You know what? I read a stat about a week ago that the amount of women that play poker online far outpaces the men. It exceeds men. I think it's 65 or 67% women playing poker online. Isn't that wild?
I guess that kind of makes sense, only because of the general atmosphere that you would think that, not that women would be intimidated, but they'd be less intimidated doing it online.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if a woman who, or even a guy that doesn't know poker that well went to one of these card houses, it's really intimidating to sit down and play. Because all these guys know each other, and it gets crazy. All right, what a week, man. We'll wrap it up when we come back. But just a hell of a week with news. It was probably the biggest week we've had in, I don't know, maybe a year or so. And it wasn't, we've had bigger stories, like Trump getting shot, or Joe Biden bailing out of the race, or a fire or a bomb or a terrorist attack. But I've never seen this much news. I mean, we've had like 7 or 8, 9 huge stories this week.
Yeah.
And it's just been unbelievable.
Yeah, the quantity of stories that are significant, even if they're not huge, but they're significant stories.
And they're not just local stories, too. That Matthew Perry was an international story.
Yeah.
And so was Johnny Wachter as well. And so we've had an unbelievable week. It's one of the reasons you got to keep it on KFI. So when you go to a party this weekend, or you're hanging out with friends this weekend, and they start talking about the news, you don't look like an idiot because you don't know it. You'll know it if you listen to KFI. Yeah. So at least Friday, jump onto KFI so you have some information on going into the weekend, so you don't sound like a complete idiot at the party.
Not to mention the best narration of car chases everywhere.
Oh, I think you're right. I think Petros is the king, man. That guy is the best. And there is nobody that walks up to that line, sticks his toe over it, then his leg, then his body, then his car, then his house, He jumps over that line a lot.
Can I say this? Who cares?
That's why we listen, though.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. On Demand from KFI AM 640.
We sum up the entire week every Friday around 6:53, and this segment's always being brought to you by Advanced Hair One-Day Treatment, life-changing results. Make your appointment today at advancedhair.com. We had an incredible week in news. We had the Matthew Perry, accidental overdose. 5 people were arrested in that case, including the ketamine queen. She's going to be under a lot of pressure. Peter Marshall passed away. We had Johnny Wachter, 4 people arrested in that case. This very well-liked actor from General Hospital who was killed in downtown Los Angeles, and looks like the LAPD found their guys. We had a couple of quakes. We had the Vegas quake, which a lot of people here didn't feel, but we had the South Pasadena quake that rocked us on Monday, I believe. The Lake Elsinore quake. And then we had a chap on from Shake Alert. We had Dr. Lucy Jones and me. We had her on this week as well. And that seems like forever ago, but she was on with us talking about earthquakes. There's a lot of them going around. People are scared to death. They're going to lose their home and die in an earthquake. Elvis Presley died in 1977. Today. What is this, August 16th? August 16th, 1977. Also this week, Wally Amos passed away from famous Amos Cookies. Wally Amos. We had a couple of chases this week. One today that ended up in Compton and 96th Street. The Intuit Dome opened. We talked about that. We said there's going to be some, hiccups when you open a new place like that. And there were, but maybe they'll have those all straightened out for tonight's concert. It's going to be a big concert there again tonight at the Intuit Dome. Go out there and maybe Lady Gaga will buzz by again. That's kind of a cool deal. And then we had the raisin trucks that wiped out on the 2. That was a big deal. The Olympics closed. The Olympics closed on Sunday. That seems like 9 years ago. But it was just this Sunday that they shut it down. Also, a Social Security breach. There's 333 million people in this country. All of our Social Security numbers were stolen. All of them. So you got to try to do something about that. Maybe spend some weekend time trying to protect yourself. Also, Boar's Head Meat, another story this week. It was wiping some people out. There's some new laws that have been signed by Governor Newsom to try to combat the crime. And that was also another big story this week. The crime in the San Fernando Valley is going through the roof. And they've got to get a handle on that. So that was just this week. All of those stories happened this week. And it seems like a lot. Seems like a hell of a lot. But it all happened in one tiny little week. That is unbelievable. All right, the Olympics are on their way. The San Fernando Valley is not going to be left out. We usually left out. San Fernando Valley, home to 2 million people, doesn't have anything. There's no sports team. There's no 5-star hotel. There's no 5-star restaurant. There's no yacht club. There's no great golf course that is, that all the wealthy people go to. The Valley gets screwed on everything. But the Valley's going to get some Olympic events, which will be fantastic.
If you grew up in the San Fernando Valley, you may recognize some signs hanging at the Valley Relics Museum.
How many signs do you have in this museum?
We have probably 100 in total.
Tommy Gelinas is the museum's founder.
Here we've been able to preserve our local history.
And Gelinas knows you can't talk.
By the way, that was where my reunion was. I think it was my 40th reunion without sounding too ancient. And everybody went to that museum. I didn't go for a couple of reasons. And it turns out that 92 people that went to that reunion got COVID.
And Gelinas knows you can't talk Valley history without BMX.
A lot of the first early pro tracks were here. A lot of the BMX manufacturers were here.
Part of the museum is now dedicated to the sport.
But we are now in the BMX section.
That's right. We're going to get BMX, skateboarding, the San Fernando Valley, the Woodley Park area, the Sepulveda Basin is going to be home to a lot of those events. All right, it's my favorite Mo Kelly show every single Friday at 9. Love the movie clips you do. And I know you work your ass off. You spend hours and hours on that every single week.
Sure. Why not? We'll go with that.
All right.
Go with that, yeah.
And you're the only guy that talked about the Mayor Butt story. With all the other news, that one just sort of flew by, but you were all over that thing.
I'm kind of surprised. I mean, I had followed it for the past few years. I knew about the suit.
But I didn't know it was that old.
It is old. What's different now is there is this demand letter where they're specifically saying, hey, we want $65 million. And you can go the easy way, you can go the hard way. And they have text messages, they have emails. It can get really, really ugly really quick.
Yeah, and that guy's a local hero. You know that more than I do. Man, he brought both NFL teams came to Los Angeles, and he got both of them. And the Clippers.
Yeah, and the Intuit Dome.
Right.
All these things.
Kia Forum.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the reason why the story didn't originally pick up as much traction. He has a lot of powerful friends in high places and people who are willing to look the other way.
I guess so. What else on the big show tonight, bub?
Come on. Is there anything more than movies that we need to talk about on this evening on Friday night?
Movies at 9. Any theme tonight?
No theme tonight. No theme tonight. But they usually include movies that we've discussed over the course of the week.
I heard you and Ron are talking the other night about revisiting and seeing movies again as an adult that maybe you saw as a kid. You don't really appreciate. It was a great idea, great area.
I was rewatching Close Encounters of the Third Kind, the theatrical and the director's edition, just the other night, and you notice different things. Like I noticed that Apollo Creed was in Close Encounters.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. That's wild. But I love when you and Tuwala and Ron disagree on a movie and just S all over each other. That's great.
They're always wrong. You know that, right?
He's very sensitive. So,
It is fun, buddy. I love the show. I'll be listening tonight, and have a nice weekend, man.
Talk to you soon.
The best. All right. We're live on KFI. Stay tuned for Mo Kelly and his whole crew right here on KFI AM 640. Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. Now, you can always hear us live on KFI AM 640, 4 to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and anytime on demand on the iHeartRadio app.